We had a client that we worked with, and she was really struggling with profitability. She kept raising tuition. She actually did 3 tuition increases within a 15-month cycle, and she still could not catch up. So I helped her work with our 6 money leaks in schools, and she only used 3 of the 6 money leaks and cut her expenses by 50%. 50. She did not fire anyone. She did not slash any of her programs, and she did not work more hours. Again, the 6 money leaks are not hacks or spreadsheets. These are patterns. They are small decisions that feel so normal that your school does, but they quietly drain your school's profit. So if you've ever wondered why you're working so hard, but still not seeing the return, this is your first step to clarity. Click the link in the show notes and find out what it's actually costing you. Welcome to the Schools of Excellence podcast, where we have conversations about education, leadership, and building a school of excellence. The goal on this show is to bring you clarity, up-level your mindset, and give you practical strategies and inspiration so you can show up with confidence and trust your decision-making. I'm Chani Wolshansky. I'm a mom of 4 under 10, a former New Yorker, and been in the early childhood field my entire life. And I'm so grateful that you've joined me for this conversation. If you happen to find this show and you know nothing about me or the Schools of Excellence, or maybe you're a lifelong follower of my walk and talks that I do on Facebook Live, or you may just be secretly following us on social media where you see what me and my kids are up to. Whatever stage you're in, welcome to the show, and I'm grateful that you've decided to spend some time with me. My goal on this show is to help you really put words to how you're feeling and experiencing, but not sure how to say or articulate that. You see, when I had my 4th child, my stomach was in a lot of pain a few days after birth. While you may be thinking, well, yeah, you just had a baby, it was actually a little bit more painful, and I wanted some clarity. So I called on my doctor and I explained my symptoms. And he told me what it was, and almost immediately I felt calmer. Now I knew what I was dealing with, and I knew how to take care of it. That is my goal with every episode. I want to help bring you clarity to the everyday ups and downs of being a director and owner of a school. I want to help you have language to lead difficult conversation. I want to help you diagnose the symptoms in your school that you're experiencing so that you know what strategy to go ahead with. So who am I and why am I qualified to do this? Well, let's start with this. I am not your typical entrepreneur who started a business. I actually come from 7-generation dynasty of rabbis and Hasidic leaders. My entire identity growing up was I was the rabbi's daughter. You see, I'm the oldest girl of 8 brothers and sisters. And so while I never had lemonade stands or did anything like that, I always ran a preschool. My house was a preschool from when I was 3 years old. I always had younger siblings to take care of and to entertain. And so because that was part of my responsibility, I learned how to create systems and processes around snack time, lunchtime, and playtime. When I was 7 years old, I actually created a bath system of how to bathe myself and all my younger siblings within 15 minutes. From when I was 5 years old, I'd actually go outside and my mom would say, hey, take the younger ones with you. So I learned very quickly how to entertain, create games, how to do my chores and my responsibilities. And so while I didn't have the typical childhood of just being a kid, I did learn powerful skills of leadership. In November of 2019, my mom's extended family got together to celebrate my grandfather's 85th birthday. And when we were all the people in the room, every child, grandchild, and great-grandchild, we were actually 234 people. 234 people, just family. Just such a blessing. We actually had to rent out the entire Sheraton of 4 Points in Niagara Falls. So I have been around noise, crying kids, toddlers, tantrums, people forever, and creating calm and chaos. Why does that all matter? Okay, why does it matter that this is part of my story and my experience? Because as a director and as an owner, you're not just dealing with the business side of running your school. You're dealing with the human side, the side that you can't automate, the side that you can't hire an app to do for you, the side that you can't outsource because they're people. They are not robots. Being a school leader can feel lonely. You're feeding everyone else. You're taking care of everyone else. You're giving everyone else safety and security. You need to elevate your staff. You need to train your staff. You need to create a great culture. You need to make enough money to do payroll and pay the rent and keep the lights on. But who's taking care of you? Who's holding you? Who's nurturing you for what you need to succeed? When you tune into this show, I hope you find inspiration. I hope you feel seen and heard in those moments. And I hope that through those moments, you find the fortitude inside yourself to move forward. Now, you may be thinking, okay, great. This is awesome. I found a place where I can feel seen, where somebody gets me. But how do you pronounce your name? So I'm going to walk you through that because I get this question at least once a day. My name is Chani Wolshansky. Wolshansky is my husband's last name. It's a Polish last name. My maiden name isn't that much better. It's Kanelski. So we're all into the big European last names. When you say my first name, you got to clear the back end of your throat. So you take some garlic, some honey, a little lemon, you create the concoction, you gargle it, and then your throat gets clear and you could say, huh. If you can't say that, it's okay. Happens to me once a day. We can still be friends. I still love you. But those are for the people that want to try it. It's great. Okay. Now that we've got the name aside, tell you a little bit more about what this show is about and who I am. So in 2006, I became a toddler teacher in New York City's acclaimed Preschool of the Arts. And I taught toddlers there for 8 years. Then I moved on to be an assistant director, and then an executive director of a school. And every time I took these different positions of leadership, I became obsessed with one thing: create human connection and relationship. I was obsessed with people being seen and heard because I understood the deep nuances of being a teacher, the struggles of that mindset. And I still get it because I still host teachers in my house on Friday nights. And I chat with teachers regularly because I need to know what's happening in the classrooms. I also know that as a director, sometimes you just want to get into the classroom and hold a baby or sit and play with one of the toddlers or have conversation with one of the 4-year-olds. As an owner, you might want to still have connection and relationships with the teachers. Not every day, but not feel so far removed from the relationships. There's a reason that my clients tell me at least once a week, do you have my school and house bugged? No, I don't. I don't bug anyone's schools or houses. But I know what you're going through, even though we may have never met. Because through the years of experience and staying closest to the pain and struggle, I'm able to remain relevant to what's actually happening. I've actually clocked 2,182 hours of one-on-one coaching. That doesn't include group calls, which accounts for close to 400 additional hours. So why am I telling you how many hours I've done in one-on-one coaching? Why does that matter for you? Well, it matters because when you're looking for advice and mentorship, you want to be learning from a practitioner, someone who's actually practicing, living and breathing what is happening in schools and classrooms every single day. Do you know that 8 out of the 10 questions I get from directors come from misalignment of expectation and developmentally appropriate practice? Meaning the director sometimes has an expectation that the teacher should do something, but it's actually in complete misalignment with the school's values or the school's specific focus and goals for that quarter or for that year. And a lot of times the teacher's struggling and then there's a clash between director and teacher simply because the teacher lacks training and education in developmentally appropriate practice. A lot of times the struggle from the owners come from mindset and training on this is how humans feel in these moments. This is what it means to be a director and lead and have that vast of responsibility. So you need straight talk, okay? Not platitudes. You can scroll on your Instagram feed and get platitudes of leadership, of people first, servant leadership, work on your business, not in your business, show gratitude. Great platitudes. What does it mean? How do you take a vision of servant leadership or people first or show gratitude or create a culture? How do you take that and build the infrastructure and the execution system to make that a reality. Life is way more nuanced and complex than, oh, here is a template of how to work on your business. Okay, and then what happens when I start doing that? And then I get a call that my washing machine is broken and my boyfriend is sick. And then I get another text message that this teacher is out. And then I get another message from this parent that she's upset that the teacher said X, Y, and Z to her. And then I get another message from the landlord that we're late on our rent payments. And then I get another ping that the police department is there because someone called CPS. Okay, now what do I do? Now what do I do? Great, this is a beautiful thing, but what do I do now? So it's not just about how to deal with the crisis. It's also about how you build infrastructure and execution and expectation and standards so that you have less crises and you're actually building and not just doing. That's what this podcast is about. It's to help bridge the gap. That's what I do with our clients. You want to know, what do I actually say to the teacher? What do I actually do with this parent? And the other part of my story is that I actually run a childcare every minute of every day in my own house. I have a 3-year-old, a 6-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 10-year-old. So I'm raising the next generation of leaders. I do bedtime, I do bath time, I make breakfast, I do dinner, I have laundry, I got to create a podcast, I lead a school's excellence team, and I'm married to an exceptional human being whose name is Mayor, who you'll learn a lot more about as we go through the episodes. So I've got my hands full. And I needed to learn how to create the right infrastructure and systems to build the beautiful life that I want. And this has become my commitment for my life. Excellence is about showing up better than you did 5 minutes ago. It's about choosing to show up in a way that you want to lead. It's about believing that you can create the school and craft the legacy that you want. It's about a true fundamental understanding that life does not happen to you, but you are the designer and builder of everything that you want to have in your school, because everything starts with you. So for right now, I hope you join me every Tuesday as we uncover topics like leadership, communication, systems, culture. I'm going to bring this all together for you guys. I'm also going to bring in world-class leaders to share their strategies. We'll have conversations with other amazing school leaders who are taking bold and daring moves. So I hope you'll join me, and I look forward to seeing you. Thanks for investing time to listen to this episode on the Schools of Excellence podcast. I am so honored to be surrounded by committed school leaders like yourself who invest time in growing themselves and building their schools. Until next time, show up with confidence, lead with empathy, and trust your decision making, because everything that you need is inside of you. And hey, if you want to be connected with other like-minded school leaders, please join us in our Facebook group, the Schools of Excellence Lounge. You can find that link in the show notes, along with other important links from today's episode. If your accountant has ever told you to cut back on professional development or slash your teacher appreciation budget or your staff development budget just so you could stay afloat, or has told you, hey, you probably can't go invest in that program, please listen. The problem is not that you're spending too much money on your people or yourself or your investment or your support system. It's that your school has invisible money leaks that are draining your profit, leaks that no spreadsheet will ever catch or accountant. So I created the 6 money leaks of schools that show you the 6 core areas that schools lose money every single month without realizing it. If you close even one of them, your profits will start to soar without sacrificing your team. Go get it now and stop blaming the things that are actually building your school.